Good evening, Northern Colorado. This is Whiskey Zero Delta Delta Zulu. My name is Dave, and I'm net control for tonight's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Net. The purpose of this net is to provide a forum for announcements of amateur radio-related events, a meeting time on air to encourage social interaction between club members, and to provide a point of contact for club executive board members. This net may be interrupted at any time for emergency or priority traffic. If you need to use this system for an emergency during the net, please say break and give your call sign. We will acknowledge you and suspend the net until you advise you are clear. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? All licensed amateur radio operators with 70 centimeter privileges are encouraged to check into this net. Club membership is encouraged but not required for participation. This net will begin as a directed net and shift into an open net. There will be an opportunity for stations with equipment to sell to announce their items. Check-ins are requested for purposes of counting participation with no checkout required. Once all stations have checked in, Net Control will ask the club executive board members if they have any announcements, and then we'll call for announcements from other operators. Please be courteous once the formal portion of the net is over and allow a break for other stations to be a part of the conversation. When checking into the net, please give your call sign using the ITU phonetic alphabet. Tonight, we have had 18 early check-ins. I'll start by taking check-ins from club board members. Club board members who have not checked in, please call. Hearing none, we'll move on to general club members. General club members who have not checked in, please call.
Kilo Golf 6 Uniform Delta Tango, Ed and Bertha. Kilo 8 Golf Echo, Jerry, Fort Collins.
Evening, Dave. November 7, Golf Echo Sierra, and 7 GES, Kevin in Fort Collins. I have an announcement.
November 7, Charlie Tango Mike, Mark, Firestone, no traffic.
Kilo 0, Hotel Alpha Kilo, David in Fort Collins.
K0HAK, I'm sorry, go ahead. What was the name one more time?
David in Fort Collins.
And N7CTM, it was Mike, correct?
Mark.
Sorry about that. So, good evening to Ed, Jerry, Kevin, Mark, and David. How are you guys tonight?
Doing okay here.
Great. We are glad you guys could join us. Any other club members who'd like to check in, please call.
Whiskey 0, Delta Alpha Sierra, Dave, Fort Collins.
And good evening, Dave. Any other club members who'd like to check in, please call.
Kilo 0, Echo Victor.
And good evening, Eric. How are you?
Doing great, Dave.
Good to hear. Any other club members who'd like to check in, please call. Hearing none, we will move on to all stations. Anyone who'd like to check in, please call.
Kilo Delta Zero, Golf, November.
Good evening, Don. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good.
I am, thank you. Anyone else who'd like to check in, please call. KE0, I got KE0SY. Your signal was pretty weak into the repeater. Could you repeat one more time? KE0SYJ. Thank you for checking in. Any other stations who'd like to check in, please call.
Kilo Delta Zero, Quebec Bravo, Michael in Windsor.
Good evening, Michael. Any other stations who'd like to check in, please call.
Alpha Echo Zero, Charlie Foxtrot, Ben, Fort Collins.
Good evening, Ben. Any other stations who'd like to check in? Hearing none, we will now move on to net business. Darren, KC0ZIE. Do you have anything for tonight's net?
Thanks, Dave, and good evening to the net. One thing I would like to put out there, I don't know if it applies to anyone on the net tonight, but renew your memberships if you haven't already. There's instructions on how to do that on the website, or I will be at Hamfest with the capability to renew you there. With that, I'll send it back to you. KC0ZIE.
Yes, and new this year we have the ability to take credit cards at Hamfest to renew your memberships. So yes, please get those in to us. Thanks for that, Darren. Joe, KD0TYU, do you have anything for us tonight?
I'll just remind everybody this weekend is Hamfest, and if you don't have a table now, we are sold out, but come see me and I can probably set you up one way or another. So back to you. Thanks so much for taking the net.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, this year's working to be a pretty awesome Hamfest. I hope to see you guys there. Steve, KD0UJK, do you have anything for us tonight?
This is KD0UJK. No, I have nothing for the net tonight, and thanks for taking the net, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. And Greg, N0EMP, do you have anything for us tonight?
Hey, Dave. No traffic. See you Saturday, N0EMP.
Definitely looking forward to it. Thanks, Greg. Kevin, N7GES, what do you have for us tonight?
Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everybody. TechNet topic. Once again, I apologize for people for not getting it emailed in to the webpage. But this week's TechNet topic is suggested by the club members. And the topic is, what can a mobile radio do for you that an HT can't? So we'll discuss that and other things Monday evening at 6 p.m. on this frequency. Thank you very much. Any input, questions, or whatever for the net can be directed to elmers@ncarc.net. Thank you, and I'm going to have to sign clear. 7GES.
Thank you for that, Kevin. Yes, that should be a pretty interesting topic for sure. Were there any other stations who had announcements for tonight's net? Are there any stations who have questions for the NCARC board or any questions about Hamfest coming up or anything? Hearing none, we have now reached the gear swap portion of the net. Are there any stations with equipment to sell or stations looking for a piece of equipment? Hearing none, does any station have any other topics they'd like to discuss with tonight's net? This is Whiskey Zero Delta Delta Zulu for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. Are there any late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion before we close the net this evening?
This is Kilo Fox 7 Bravo, Oscar Bravo. Late check-in. Good evening to the net.
Good evening, Bob. I was wondering where you were.
I'm also on the phone, so that's why I'm a little on the late side, and I'm afraid I'll have to be brief.
Oh, I understand that. Well, thanks for checking in. It's good to hear from you. Any other late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion before we close this evening? Hearing none, this concludes the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Net. Net Control would like to thank each station for their participation. This net will occur again next Wednesday at the same time on this repeater. This is Whiskey Zero Delta Delta Zulu. Thank you guys for stopping in. The repeater is now open for general use. This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.